What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel here, Just Simply Sports with me. I am Kaja. If you're new here, I welcome you. Please hit the like and subscribe button. If you're not new, you've been here, you've been rocking out with me. I appreciate you. You guys, let's just get right into it, shall we? Because I was at work today. I had my AirPods on listening to Get Up, and I heard Sham say that breaking news, Giannis Antetokounmpo is open, not requesting, but open to the idea of leaving Milwaukee and going to a different team. And obviously, everybody's talking about where he should go, if he should stay, all these different things, right? Now, I will say, he just said he's open. He hasn't officially come out and said, hey, I want to leave, because obviously his family's there. He's been there to Texas. His life has been set up there for the past 12 seasons. So that's home. But we all know that Giannis wants to win. And you could tell from a look on his face at the end of the season, after being bounced out the past 2 seasons, not getting past the first round, he was not happy at all. And I understand, because he played his butt off and pretty much it was of to no avail, right? So you guys, everybody's saying that Giannis should go to the Rockets. That's a no for me at all, because if you send Giannis to the Rockets, what are you giving up in return? All that depth that they have on the bench, those little young pieces, what happens to those pieces that are part of why that team is growing and evolving the way that it is? You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I'm Ime Udoka that I want to give up this young core that I had that's growing and growing and growing, and then bring Giannis in. Because the minute you do that, you lose all your depth. Then what happens? That's what happened with the Suns. They're like, oh, the idea of Devin Booker and Katie, the idea is great, right? And then we throw in Bradley Beal. And you do that, and then now you have all these stars, who have these huge contracts, who command all this money, and then you give away all your picks, you give away a king's ransom, and then when it comes time to compete, you're like, damn, we don't have any depth on the bench. We don't have anybody to play defense, and then you're back at the same, from square one. Meanwhile, your cap is going all the way up, and you can't really do anything to put your team in a better position. So for me, if Giannis does want to leave the Bucks, I'm saying the only place for him in the East, and I think it's kind of tipped the balance in the East, because the West is just stacked all the way through, right? Every team is like a juggernaut, so to speak, for the most part, because they have so much talent on the teams. A lot of the superstars or the up-and-coming stars are in the West. But for me, the only team, if Giannis is going to leave, would be the Knicks. Now, obviously, the Knicks are up 3-1 as I make this video. They won again tonight. Special prayers, shout out to Jason Tatum, obviously. He got hurt. But for me, the Knicks at some point, like, what they have is great, but you cannot keep running Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Cat into the ground. Like, they can't go every single season playing all 82 games, playing 48 minutes of every game, and then making this deep playoff run. Like, at some point, like, you need to add some depth to that bench, do something. And I feel like, personally, if Giannis is going to leave, for me, the Knicks are the only place to go. He seems to love New York. At the end of the season, him and his family went to New York. They weren't in Fiji. They didn't go to Cabo. He wasn't in Greece. He went to New York. That's where he went. So he seems to like New York. And I think Giannis being such a big star, him and Jalen Brunson, along with what they already have, I think would be great. Now, what do you give the Bucks in return? I'm not sure how many, future picks they have and things like that. But for me, that's the only place that I would see Giannis go in the East. Now, honestly speaking, I think that Giannis should stay right where he is. We haven't really gotten a chance to see what Giannis and Dame look like, especially in the playoffs, because last season, they both were hurt. This season, Dame has the blood clot, unfortunately. They make the trade late in the season for Kevin Porter Jr., Kuz. They didn't start the season off with what they have now, so it's kind of trial and error, Doc, feel how you feel about him. Nevertheless, in terms of what they have on their roster, the pieces were added late, and that to me makes a difference. Like I said, Giannis and Dame both being hurt last season, they weren't going to go anywhere with both of your stars being hurt. That was not going to happen. And then you fast forward to this season, Dame, unfortunately, with the blood clot injury, what can you do about that? It's a blood clot, right? You can't play like that because, God forbid, you have a pulmonary embolism and then you pass away. It's a whole nother big, unfortunate, tragic situation. So that couldn't be stopped, obviously. And then I think personally, maybe shouldn't have rushed back, and then the torn Achilles, it just wasn't a good year for Dame. You know what I mean? Like, it's been a trying couple of seasons for him with everything he's had going on off the court and on. But fast forward to why I think Giannis should stay. Look, the grass isn't always greener. He has his life set up there already. I feel like what they are building is in the right direction in terms of winning a championship. You got to put yourself in position to compete with the West. And that means that you got to have at least 2 stars and you have to have depth on that bench all the way through. Your bench needs to have more bench. You know what I mean? So hear me out, you guys, right? I said a long time ago, Brook Lopez needs to go respectfully. They have gotten all they can get from him. It is time for him to go. He is 37 years old. There is no reason to me why he should be that tall and not have at least 10 rebounds every single game. Like, he's always healthy. You know, that's great. He's always available. But he's not really bringing anything to add to this team anymore. You know, he got his ring with them a few years ago. We appreciate you. Love you forever, but we got to move on. Like, and also, like, his age. He's 37, you know, and I'm not mad at his age, but we got to go younger. These teams are getting younger and younger and more athletic, and we need somebody who can, you know, put us in position to help compete. It is what it is. It's a business, right? So for me, get rid of Brook, and what you need to do is head to Charlotte and get that center in his place, Mark Williams. Why? He's another 7-footer. Hear me out, you guys. I wrote it down, okay? Mark Williams, he's a center, 7 feet. Charlotte. The Lakers were gonna take him. Then supposedly he had this failed physical, but then he was able to play in Charlotte. I don't know about that, but whatever, their loss, right? Because they could have used him in the playoffs this season against the Wolves. But nevertheless, Mark Williams is great. He's always seems to be available. He's never really out due to injury. He averages 15 points, 10 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 60.4 field goal percentage. To me, he is a great replacement. On top of that, he is 23 years old. 23-37. And then also the money. He's not someone you're going to have to pay a whole lot of money to. Remember, like, a lot of their money is tied into Giannis, obviously, and then Dame, because those are the superstars of that team. So they're going to command a lot of money. You don't really have so much to work with. So trying to go out and get more stars to this team is not going to happen without giving up a star. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen. But you bring somebody else in like him, who obviously you don't have to really pay right now. He already has a contract, so he's not looking for any money right now. You take his contract, and then you add him to your team. You get Brook up out of there respectfully, okay? Also, Taurean Prince needs to go. I didn't like him as a Laker. I don't like him on the Bucks. I don't feel like he's helping this team win. He's not. I say, and you guys may be like, where did she get this from? I love Trey Murphy III, you guys. I have been so high on him in this past season. He was playing his behind off out there in Pelican Bay. Obviously, the team needs a lot of work. You know, Zion taking all that money, not really doing anything. A lot of wasted money there. Whole other conversation, you guys. But Trey Murphy III to me, him and Taurean Prince, like, now, Trey Murphy III, small forward, power forward, shooting guard. Like, he goes back and forth between those positions, but he can shoot and he can rebound. Okay, so this season alone, he averaged 21 points, 5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 45.4 field goal percentage. Okay, he is 6'8". You see the length that he has on him around the perimeter. He can shoot threes. He offers a lot more than Taurean Prince does. Respectfully, Taurean Prince, again, he's somebody else who's older. He needs to go. You know, Trey Murphy is young. You know, you have to bring younger pieces in. There's no way you're going to compete, especially when you're out there in the East and the West is a juggernaut. You got to put yourself in position to win. So for me, those two pieces are, I'm not going to say it's the end all be all, right? Because everything happens and plays out the way it does. You know, you might have a great regular season, playoffs, you know, let's say God forbid Giannis gets hurt, you know, then things switch up. You know what I mean? But I like the idea of having Giannis, obviously, starting lineup. Dame, obviously. I love the idea of putting Mark Williams in there, Trey Murphy III. That fifth person to me is interchangeable. Depends on how you want to go. Now, I know Kuz, I don't know what happened laid an egg this postseason, but typically he is better. He's played on the Lakers when they won a championship, so he knows what it takes to win a championship. I'm going to expect better from him next year, just looking at his history. And then Kevin Porter Jr. to me needs more minutes. You know what I mean? Jericho Sims is also a young piece. Now, he's at the next year. We'll get a chance to see him play. I remember when he was in clutch, you know, when he first got drafted with Moses, everybody came in. They came in together. Jericho Sims, to me, I really want to see what he can bring to the table. He never really gets a chance to play. He plays and he does it. He comes in a little bit, then he doesn't. But he has the size. You know, he's quiet. You know what I mean? But he has the size. And I feel like there's a lot more there to offer. Bobby Portis. Oh my God, you guys. How did I forget him? That's the talking like right there. I know it's forgetting somebody. Okay, so it's Dame, Giannis, Bobby Portis Jr., Mark Williams, and then Trey Murphy III. That is my starting 5 for the Bucks. And if they all can stay healthy, I honestly believe that team will be one hell, of a team to beat in the playoffs, especially in the regular season. To me, I think that if I'm a GM and I'm in control, I would try to figure out how I can make that work if I'm in charge of that team. Obviously, I'm not. This is what I'm thinking. And again, looking at the money, because again, people will always think about superstars. Okay, pair this star with that star. And we think about how big they are for their franchise and how many points they score, how many rebounds they get, which is great. But does it work with another superstar? I don't think that Giannis, playing alongside Luka at all is going to work in any capacity. I just don't think, because I don't see it working. You know what I mean? Is it great on paper? Is it going to fill the seats, in the stands? Probably. But will it work? I don't think so. I don't see them being able to play or balance each other out personally. I don't see it. So yeah, like I said, you have those five start lineup, and then you got Kuz come off the bench. Um, who did I just say? Kevin Porter Jr. come off the bench. Gary Trent Jr., AJ Green. That's a lot of depth to me on that bench coming for that second unit. I love that personally, you guys. If you can get rid of those pieces and bring somebody else in who's going to be cheaper, and someone who's younger, who can give you twice the production, to me, you have to at least try. I'm not going to just let Giannis walk away without trying to build and win a championship now. If you let Giannis go and you keep Dame, it's not going to be enough at this point, and you're not paying Dame $54 million next year, just to pretty much lose. You know what I mean? Like, you have a window right now, to be able to compete. And for me, you got to surround Giannis with those two crucial pieces. Who do you think you should bring in, and who are you getting rid of on the Bucks? Let me know, and of course, I'll see you in the next video.